Well, hello there, welcome back to the James Ramblin Reviews for yet another episode. In today's episode, I'm having to record this video again because this is the 2025 film Sinners, and let's just get this out of the road that, you're going to expect something that you probably are going to be blown away with. You're going to be like, what kind of planet were you on watching this movie? Because I am one of the few people that I don't really particularly enjoy this final product, so we'll get into all of that later. But just so you know, right, with this movie, this is the director Ryan Coogler. And what is Ryan Coogler known for? Black Panther, the original film, it's entertaining, all of that. Then comes along that sequel that you just forget about, that has one, it was just, what a terrible film that was. And then the director was also saying stuff about how, I was inspired by Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, to make him sound cool and, nerdy and all of this crap, right? There's all of these nonsense things about the movie you've been hearing. It's apparently, see on Cinema Score, the thing about this movie is that the people that went to see the movie opening night and they came out right after it, like out of the theatre reaction sort of thing, they rated it A, no A minus, no A plus, just A on Cinema Score. So there's all this hype surrounding the movie, so I had to see what it was all about. I saw one of the trailers, but one of those trailers I saw, they didn't really give much away. I just didn't really remember the trailer that much. So without spoiling, what you have here is almost 2.5 hours where it is Michael B. Jordan. He plays these two parts, right? And it's kind of like this story set during the times when black people, when black people did not have a good time in society. And I guess you could say that. And it's meant to be a horror movie, meant to be a musical, meant to be this, meant to be that. So there's all of this. I won't spoil it all because the movie just came out like a few days ago, I believe, like on Friday there in the UK. So if you haven't seen it yet, definitely still go and watch it. So how do I feel about this movie? So I just said, right, this movie, that I'm going to have a different opinion to people. And that is because I actually just did not like this movie. I'm going to be honest with you. Just didn't really go. This movie just did not go for me. It just did not capture the magic of an experience in the cinema I wanted. First thing to note here is that, the movie literally opens up in silence. I'm not joking when I say this. A guy runs out, right? A guy literally runs out of the cinema to make sure that the staff, turn the sound back on. And they don't even press rewind. They don't go rewind it back to the start. No. He not even paused it and rewinded it. Just continued the movie, right? And so I remember when the movie was silent, right? Me and my mum and my sister and all that, we were making noises in the cinema. There's like a cow or whatever. There was a car driving by, like vroom vroom. We were just joking about this. It was an absolute nightmare. I don't know how the staff were this kind of silly and just did not act upon it quick enough. We actually had to get an audience member to do this. I paid 15 quid for almost 15-20 quid for a super screen experience, and was this movie worth it on a super screen? Now, the more time that it sat with me the last night when I finished watching it, no, I don't think this works in super screen. It has one of the worst, it's good for the music, but it just doesn't have it. For me, it just didn't work on a story level. I mean, Michael B. Jordan, he gives it his all, he tries, but he's inside of a script, inside of a story that is one of the most predictable stories you've seen in your entire life. Because if you've seen the movie, and I think people have mentioned this in other reviews, but if you've seen the movie From Dusk Till Dawn from 1996, it's got Robert Rodriguez directing with Tarantino co-writing, the screenplay and stuff like that. This is this movie if it was horrible, because you actually know where the movie's heading. It tries to be this pretentious, bigger than life, larger than life movie, but you know exactly what you're getting into as soon as you know that there's something strange in the neighborhood. Who you gonna call? That crap. It just feels like one of those generic, it feels like a generic, horror. It's got that generic horror vibe to it, and a lot of repetitive songs. Like, even somebody who studied blues music at school in COVID, right, this was just some of the worst, music you could have actually put into a movie, because they just sing the same songs, they just dance about, move their feet about so much. Sure, it's good for the super screen, and they get the noise, you get the Dolby Atmos 4K, but as a movie it just doesn't work on a story level, like I said. And Michael B. Jordan, he does give it his all, so there's that. And the pacing as well. For a while I was like, where is this movie going? Where is this movie going? Where is this movie going? And then it keeps going on, it keeps going on, it keeps going on. And when you thought the movie is over, it goes on for longer. There's a post-credit scene that honestly, like, you don't even need to watch the post-credit scene to understand like the rest of the movie, because you kind of get the point after the movie's over. And it was just like, why did they add this like big, I'm not going to spoil it, but they added a musical piece towards the end of the film, and you're just like, okay, we just get to see the same actors talk even longer, sing even longer. And if I wasn't with my mum, my sister and my brother-in-law, right, I would have just ran out of this movie and just done something to get my mind off of this. And I remember actually watching like a silly comedy movie on Netflix called Masterminds just to get my mind off of this movie. And so yeah, honestly, out of 10, I know we're kind of dragging this video out, but out of 10, right, this is probably like a solid 4.5 out of 10 for me. Like, it's the more time it's sat with me, it's watchable. But then if you talk about the story, you talk about the writing, you talk about what it's doing and how predictable it gets, and the song choices and the cinematography was just okay. It wasn't anything mind-blowing. So yeah, no. So yeah, that's my review of Sinners. This is probably the better way to record this video. And honestly, like, this movie, like, let's just make a little joke here. This movie just joined the club that Substance and Longlegs is in, where everyone raves about it. Everyone's like, oh my god, movie of the year, oh my god, movie of the year, let's jerk the fuck off of this movie, let's freaking glaze the carpet of this movie, like, oh my god, this movie, oh my god, this movie's great, right? It's like that. So yeah, definitely that's my review. I had to explain myself a bit here. So that's my review. Stay tuned for more like this one. And you could tell that this movie was, like, if you look at behind me, the LED light just wasn't made for this review. So peace out, bye. I feel like I just sinned watching this movie. What a massive mess.